Most men misread this moment. They think interest looks loud, they think desire announces itself. It doesn't. When a woman wants you, it rarely shows up the way you expect. It doesn't come as certainty, it comes as a shift. And if you react too fast, you lose it before you realize it was there. This matters because most attraction doesn't die from rejection. It dies from emotional reaction, from over-clarifying, from over-giving, from trying to lock something down the moment it starts to feel uncertain. If you've ever felt her pull back right after things seem to warm up, this is why. Not because you weren't enough, because you moved too early. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand why silence often creates more desire than effort ever could. Female attraction isn't logical, it's emotional. It's built on two forces that have to exist at the same time: safety and tension. Safety means she feels emotionally calm around you, not pressured, not rushed, not evaluated. Tension means she doesn't fully have you yet. Your attention isn't guaranteed, your approval isn't leaking out of you. When those two forces are balanced, attraction grows quietly. When one overwhelms the other, it collapses. Here's what most men get wrong. They sense her warming up, and they try to secure it. More texts, more reassurance, more availability. That kills tension. And without tension, safety turns into comfort. Comfort turns into familiarity. And familiarity doesn't pull a woman closer. It flattens the emotional charge. When a woman wants you, her behavior changes in subtle ways, not dramatic ones. She starts matching your energy instead of testing it. Her tone softens. Her guard drops in small moments she doesn't plan. She mirrors your rhythm, the way you pause, the way you speak, the way you don't rush to fill silence. This happens because her nervous system feels regulated around you. She's not trying to impress, she's sinking. She also stops chasing attention and starts seeking presence. She doesn't need constant messages. She wants the feeling you create when you're there. That's a big difference. Attention is loud, presence is quiet. When a woman wants you, she respects your stillness. She doesn't punish your silence. She doesn't escalate when you don't respond instantly. Instead, she leans in emotionally. She opens up more. She shares without being asked. This is where men panic. They feel the shift, but instead of holding their center, they rush to define it. They try to label it. They try to lock certainty where curiosity should still exist. And that's when the pull fades. If you've been the man who overgave, over-explained, or over-invested, this isn't a flaw. It's a loss of frame. You weren't weak. You were emotionally reactive. And attraction doesn't respond to reaction. It responds to grounded presence. In the next part, I'll show you the deeper behavioral shifts women show when they're emotionally invested. The ones most men miss because they're too focused on words instead of energy. For now, ask yourself this. When she pulled back, did you lean forward or did you stay still? When a woman wants you, she doesn't move louder. She moves closer, not physically at first, emotionally. Most men miss this because they're watching for effort instead of alignment. They look for fast replies, compliments, reassurance. But emotional investment shows up differently. She starts adjusting herself around you, not to please you, to stay connected. Her guard drops in moments she doesn't plan. A softer admission, a personal detail she didn't mean to share, a pause where she lets silence sit instead of filling it. This happens because she feels safe enough to be unpolished. She's no longer performing. When a woman is only curious, she manages her image. When she's invested, she risks it. She also begins protecting how you're seen, not aggressively, subtly. If someone questions you, she doesn't join in. If there's tension, she smooths it. If there's misunderstanding, she explains you instead of challenging you. This isn't loyalty yet, it's alignment. Her emotional compass starts pointing toward you. Another shift most men overlook is how she treats your attention. She doesn't demand it, she respects it. If you're busy, she doesn't test you with guilt. If you're quiet, she doesn't punish you with distance. She gives space without disconnecting. That's important. Because when a woman doesn't want you, silence feels threatening to her. She reacts, she pulls away, she creates friction. When she does want you, silence becomes neutral, sometimes even attractive. She feels you're choosing when to engage. not disappearing to provoke. This is where emotional tension lives. Not in chasing, not in withdrawal, in steadiness. She also starts seeking presence over validation. She cares less about what you say and more about how it feels when you're there. She might linger longer in conversation, ask questions that don't go anywhere. Stay connected without a clear reason. This isn't confusion, it's comfort mixed with curiosity. And here's the shift that changes everything. She stops trying to control the outcome. She's no longer pushing things forward or pulling them back. She lets moments unfold. That's a sign she's emotionally invested but not yet secure. And that's the moment most men ruin. They sense her openness and rush to close the gap. They try to clarify, they try to define, but emotional attraction needs space to breathe. If you tighten it too early, it collapses. If you stay grounded, it deepens. If you felt her warmth fade after you leaned in harder, this is why. You didn't do too little, you did too much too soon. In the next part, I'll speak directly to the men who lost themselves trying to hold her interest and explain why stillness isn't avoidance, it's strength. Until then, consider this. Are you watching her words? Or are you noticing how calm she feels around you? If you've ever felt yourself giving more the moment she started giving less, this part is for you. Because that instinct didn't come from ego. It came from fear. Fear of losing momentum. Fear of being forgotten. Fear that silence means rejection. So you filled the space. With effort, with reassurance, with availability. And slowly, without noticing, you stepped out of yourself. This is where many men misunderstand what happened. They think they cared too much. They didn't. They abandoned their center. When a woman begins to invest emotionally, she's watching one thing more than anything else. How you hold yourself when nothing is being asked of you. Can you stay grounded when there's no confirmation? Can you stay present without pushing? Can you remain calm when things aren't defined? This is where attraction either deepens or dissolves. A woman doesn't pull back because you're quiet. She pulls back because your quietness feels anxious, because it feels like waiting, because it feels like you're holding your breath. Stillness only works when it's real, when your silence comes from self-respect, not strategy, from fullness, not fear. Men who lose attraction here aren't rejected. They become emotionally transparent. She can feel the shift. Your attention starts leaning toward her instead of resting within you. That changes the dynamic. She stops feeling chosen, she starts feeling responsible, and responsibility kills desire. This is why chasing never creates safety. It creates pressure. A woman doesn't want to be the center of your emotional balance. She wants to meet you where you already stand. When you stop overgiving, something interesting happens. She doesn't feel ignored. She feels room. Room to wonder, room to lean, room to move toward you without being pulled. This is the quiet power most men misunderstand. It's not distance, it's containment. You're still warm, still present, still engaged, but you're not reaching. You let moments breathe, you let her energy come to you instead of chasing it down, and if she's emotionally invested, she will. Not with words, with closeness, with softness, with alignment. If she isn't, nothing you do would have changed that anyway. This is the part that hurts to accept. You can't make a woman want you by giving more of yourself. You can only invite her by standing fully in who you are. That's not indifference, that's dignity. In the final part, I'll show you how this shifts your identity as a man, not just in dating, but in how you move through every interaction, because the real win here isn't her attention. It's the moment you stop handing your worth to someone else. So sit with this question. When things feel uncertain, do you move toward her to feel steady, or do you stay steady and let her feel you? There's a moment most men never recognize. It's when the focus quietly shifts, not from her behavior, from your identity. Up until now, attraction may have felt like something you had to manage. Read correctly, respond to carefully, protect from mistakes. That mindset keeps you reactive. But when you understand how attraction actually works, something settles. You stop monitoring her signals. You start noticing your own state. Are you calm? Are you grounded? Are you choosing or waiting to be chosen? This is the real turning point. A woman doesn't fall for a man because he figured her out. She falls into alignment with a man who is already aligned with himself. That's what quiet power looks like. It's not control over her, it's control over your emotional direction. You don't rush to define moments. You don't chase clarity when uncertainty appears. You let things reveal themselves in time, not because you don't care, but because you don't abandon yourself to prove it. This changes how you move. Your attention becomes selective. Your presence becomes intentional. Your energy stops leaking into outcomes you can't control. And paradoxically, this is when attraction either deepens or resolves itself honestly. If she's emotionally invested, she'll move closer. She'll seek your presence without prompting. She'll align without being pulled. If she isn't, you won't spiral. You won't overcorrect. You won't lose your footing trying to hold something that wasn't solid. That's self-respect in motion. Most men think strength is persistence. It isn't. Strength is staying rooted when the outcome is unclear. It's allowing space without turning cold. It's staying warm without leaning forward. This is why silence, when it's genuine, changes everything. Not the silence of withdrawal, the silence of fullness. You're not waiting. You're living. You're not testing. You're choosing. And when a woman feels that, she doesn't feel chased. She feels invited. That's the difference. Attraction doesn't grow where there's pressure. It grows where there's room. And room only exists when you stop trying to earn what should be mutual. So if you've been confused by mixed signals, pauses, or emotional shifts, remember this. Her behavior is information. Your response is identity. One reveals where she is, the other determines where you stand. And standing firmly in yourself, that's what makes a man quietly undeniable. So here's the question to leave with you. When she's uncertain, are you trying to pull her closer? Or are you finally steady enough to let her come to you? If this helped you see things a little more clearly, you can gently support the video by liking it. If a thought stayed with you, leave it in the comments, even briefly. And if you want more calm conversations like this, you can subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.